Hey, how's it going? Over the last couple years, I've done a lot of game and toy hunting by going to game expos, toy shows, or just visiting some really awesome stores. I decided for this video, I would compile some of my favorite hunts with some of my favorite people. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. I recently took a trip to Richmond, Virginia to visit some family, and while there, I did a little toy and game hunting at one of my favorite spots in the Midlothian area called 2nd and Charles. I've been coming to this location for a number of years now, and every time that I have gone shopping here, I have found something unique that I had to add to my collection. But to get started, when I walked in, I decided let's just go straight to the video games and see what they got. And like many stores do, they put their more rare and high dollar items in glass cases. They definitely had some bangers. One of the first ones that jumped out to me was Ogre Battle. They also had ActRaiser. One game in particular that I was going back and forth in my head on was Space Ace for the Sega CD. I played this game a bunch in the arcade, and like Dragon's Lair, I thought they were amazing. I thought they were beautiful games. Extremely difficult and frustrating, but super cool. They have an awesome selection of games, consoles, and accessories, and I saw many things that I would have liked to have added to my collection, but there were still the toys to go through. Since the last time I was at 2nd and Charles, they have absolutely upped their toy game. They have an entire rack dedicated to Masters of the Universe. And to the side of that is a bunch of random figures, everything from like Aliens vs. Predator and Captain Planet.
The power is yours!
As I turned around, again, like the video games, there's glass cases with the rare and high dollar. And sitting on top of one of those cases was something I had not seen in a while, the Castle of Lions from Voltron. I go through phases of my toy collecting where I consider buying these large play sets, even though I don't really have the space for it. But one day, I do hope to add the Castle of Lions from Voltron to my collection. Now, my game hunting adventure at 2nd and Charles wasn't a complete loss. I did find 3 games that day that I added to the collection. First one I picked up is the Jungle Book for the Sega Genesis. I rented this a number of times as a kid and did enjoy playing it. The next one that I picked up is another title for the Sega Genesis, and it's Real Monsters. The last game that I picked up is We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but it was one of my absolute favorites as a kid. I honestly don't know if this is a good game or not. I just thought, what the heck? I love the movie. How bad can the game be?
You chose poorly.
So after careful consideration, the only figure I picked up was Wheeler from Captain Planet. What I didn't notice until we got back to my sister's house is that the ring he came with is heart. 2nd and Charles, Wheeler is fire, not heart. Hey, what's up? It's That Weekend Warrior, and I'm here with Mr. Echo-based Collectibles himself, Scott, and we are at the Space Coast Collectorfest. Scott, is there anything in particular that you're looking for today?
Silverhawks.
Awesome. I'm looking for more Motu and possibly good purchase decisions. Got some G.I. Joe, some Black Series. Shogun Warriors. HasLab Hiss. So you got some loose figures over here. Little sewer surfing Mikey. That's awesome. You gonna get some X-Men?
Maybe.
That figure is so cool.
Hard to pass up a Wolverine in the night, though.
Yeah. See if they got a hot head. That's what I'm looking for. I doubt it being here, but still worth a shot to look. It's a complete raft. Triceratops, April. It's a stored shell Leo. Genghis Frog. Metalhead. It's a Shredder. It's an Undercover Dawn. Some other vintage loose. Don't really know. Summit Ranger. Not familiar. This is where it gets dangerous for me, is because I'll just randomly pick up something vintage because I'm like, ooh, it's vintage. Ooh, that's super cool. And I have no idea what line they are, but they just look cool. Like that. Like that's a cool looking figure. Sometimes going to these shows and trying to film and also shop and converse, it can be overwhelming. So it's nice to run into someone that you know or you've purchased from before. As we're talking, I'm looking around at what he's got available, and on the shelf behind him, I see it, and I can't believe it. This is like 2 years of hunting. So we just made a deal for some SWAT Cats and the cards from my boy Mark at, what's the name of the place?
Just Mark.
Just Mark. So come to a toy show in Florida and find Mark for the deals. So there you go. The SWAT Cats. Finally have them. After 2 years of looking, I have these figures. The thing that surprised me though is the fact that, one, they were in great condition, but two, like he had the card backs. I don't know why, but I've gotten super interested in all these vintage robots. Some battle trolls.
I'm the only silver hawk in the building.
Which one did you get?
Snooze you lose, baby.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Snooze you lose.
Concludes the Space Coast Collectorfest. I picked up some SWAT Cats and some vintage Motu. What'd you pick up, Scott?
Some too expensive of comic books and Ghostbusters.
All right. I'd say all in all, it was successful. It was a lot of fun.
For sure.
So here are my pickups from the show. First up, I got Stone Dar and Rock On with their comics for the vintage Motu line. Next up is the Saurozoic Warriors. I got 2 of the figures. It's a new line that I'm really interested in. It's kind of dangerous adding more stuff to my collection, but these are just rad. And last, but certainly not least, is the absolute highlight of the event, and that is SWAT Cats. Nothing beats getting up early on a Saturday morning, picking up your buddy, and heading to a toy show. We're headed to the Orlando Summer Collectorfest. When attending a toy show in Central Florida, you're pretty much guaranteed to find these items. Star Wars, G.I. Joe, lots of wrestling figures, and a giant bender?
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
Either way, these shows are a blast. There is a lot to see. You're gonna get hit with so much nostalgia, and you're gonna spend money. And you'd think, after attending these shows for a number of years, and the guy that started a YouTube channel to talk about toys and collectibles, that I would have a list of what I'm trying to buy, right? No, I got nothing. I'm completely unprepared. So every booth I'm going to, I'm getting very excited and I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Ooh, that's awesome.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
So from a financial standpoint, this is not smart at all. I don't know if something is overpriced, if it's underpriced. I don't know what the comps are. So it's literally a guessing game at this point. Hello, and welcome to Toy Time Terminology. In today's lesson, we're going to discuss the term comps. When a toy collector or a reseller uses the term comps, what they're referring to is the comparable sold listing. In other words, what an item sold for, a completed transaction, versus an item that's listed, an available item. And now you know. I mean, technically I could just pull my phone out, scan the item on eBay, and see what it's listed at. But going to a booth and doing that in front of the vendor, I feel uncomfortable. I personally feel it's a little rude. That's just me. So thankfully, after being at this for a few years, I feel I have a good pulse on the cost of the items that I collect. And being this is a Central Florida toy show, one of the first booths I come up to is my old pal Mark. You remember the person that sold me these? Now, scanning through everything that Mark has for sale, I look down in the glass case and I see something. Is that sealed? The mutant, the mutagen ooze?
The ooze has never been opened. Yep. It's got the seal on it. Everything's clean.
What you got on it?
$200.
Okay.
The comps are all $275, $300 all day, and
That's your buy of the day right there.
I know,
probably
right?
won't see. You probably won't.
This retro mutagen ooze container is something that I've been wanting for my collection. I never had one as a kid, and I found it finally. And Mark had it, and the price was fair, and it was brand new. But to be perfectly honest, like, I don't need 30-plus-year-old slime. I really just wanted the container. Also, I had just walked into the show, and so there was still very much to see. This show overall was stacked with a lot of vendors selling a lot of awesome things. It was also one of the busiest I had ever been to. There was points where you would go into a booth that everyone was crowded around and you just wanted to get in to see what they had that everyone had to see as well. So you're patiently just standing there and just waiting and waiting and waiting.
Hurry up and buy!
One booth I came up to had an incredible collection of mint on card vintage Star Wars. Now, I do love Star Wars. I'm not a die-hard collector of them, but these were beautiful. Prices were all over the place, which is typical for Star Wars. But as I walked down the table that this vendor had, I saw the crispiest street sharks that I have ever seen. Like, these literally look like they had just been pulled out of a shipping box and put up on the table. The main one that caught my eye was the huge Ripster puppet. This is something that I want. It just was so pricey. Like, this would have been all my money. Like, at that point, gone. You know, nothing else. Couldn't buy anything else for the rest of the day. It was my budget blown. But also at the same time, like, I want to play with the toy, you know? Like, I would be that person, be like, hey, I'm going to drop X number of dollars on this thing, open it up. All the collectors are going to be like, and I'm over there playing with the toy. That's just me. So I dried my eyes and waved bye-bye to Ripster and all his pals and kept on going to the show. As I walked further down, I saw a toy line that I've become a big fan of, and that is Mythic Legions. If you love He-Man, or you just like fantasy toys in general, these are the best toys. They are made so well, the accessories are awesome, the posability is there. Like, one of my biggest gripes over the years is you get an action figure and you want to be able to pose them in some sort of, I don't know, action, but they're always falling over because the balance isn't there. The Mythic Legions line, they figured it out. Like, their articulation is there, but the articulation is there with purpose to have awesome fight sequences that you can display these figures. Best figure ever created, in my opinion. I say go buy one, and when you get it, you're gonna say, Weekend Warrior, you're right. These are the best made action figures. Overall, the show is going great. I'm running into people that I know, people that I've seen at other shows. We're chatting, talking about our collections. I'm picking up things for my collection, having a good time. But as usual, I go through this whole show, and there's a toy line that I'm collecting with my wife that I never, ever see.
Now you can have your own special Captain Planet adventure with your favorite Planeteers. There's Wheeler, who has the power of fire, and the daring Linka with the power of wind. You can even use the Planeteers Eco Cycle.
I don't know if it is a location thing or an interest thing, whatever, I never see Captain Planet toys. I don't see them loose, I don't see them carded, I don't find accessories. At all the shows I've been going to in Central Florida over the past, 3 years, never found one. Now, it's not a big line, but my wife and I aren't even trying to collect them all. It's just the Planeteers, essentially, which is, I think, five kids and then Captain Planet himself. So far, the only way I've been able to acquire any of these is go to eBay. I don't get it. Were you Captain Planet sellers out there? Where you at? All in all, it was a great show. I found items for my collection. I made one impulse buy, which you'll see when I show what I picked up. And one thing I do enjoy is the fact that you don't have to be there all day. It's a single room. You can make a few rounds and hang out and converse and then make, hopefully, smart purchases, which I am not always good at. But it was time to wrap it up and head on out, so here's what I picked up. It is the first show of the new year. We're headed out to the Deland Comics and Toy Show. Behind me is my kid Camden, who doesn't want to be on camera. This time around, I've actually put together a list that I want to stick to. So last year was a lot of impulse buying, a lot of figuring out what I want to collect and how I want to build the collection. And a lot of it, I've also been reselling too, because I'm like, oh, I bought this, why do I need this thing? So let's head on in and see. Got some toys right up here. Let's see what they got. I see Godzilla's. I want to start collecting Godzilla, but I really want to start with the stuff from like the 70s. Oh, like I really want the gigantic Shogun Warrior.
The Gojira ones?
Yeah, those are awesome. Got a Wolverine Bendums. I like this Count Chocula. I know it's a bobblehead, but it's pretty cool. It's got Boo Berry and Frankenberry. I wonder if you would do a bundle deal on that. Mego action figure book. This Woody Woodpecker. I don't know. I don't know what year it is. And then, even though some people hated on it, I love the Matthew Broderick Inspector Gadget movies. I thought they were fun. It's a neat toy. I know I have this figure somewhere in storage, but I don't know. It'd kind of be cool to have this on card. So fun fact about Friar Tuck is the body mold is the same thing that they used for the Gamorrean Guard in Return of the Jedi. Really? Yeah, they just reused it. Oh, I want that.
What?
The Dukes of Hazzard. That's awesome.
There's the race car?
Mm-hmm. Batman Returns. Pencil box. So I have a lot of these at home, but I'm looking at the Remco Frank. Let's see. I know I said no impulse buys, but it's the Pirates of the Dark Water all on card. Very torn. Let's flesh out the need for collecting goals and actually a prioritization list. Over the last year, probably 2 years, I have done a lot of impulse buying. It's helped grow areas of knowledge. It's helped grow areas of my collection. But the problem with that is there lacks focus. This year, however, it's 99% vintage type of stuff.
awesome. Tarzan belt buckles? What? Those are all Tarzan belt buckles. That's awesome. What is that? Let's see what we got in here. Some Thundercats. And some Motus. Stondar. I've got him. I probably have most that's in here. Thunder Punch He-Man. Got the Ghost Sweeper.
How are you? Doing well. Good to see you.
I had this GoBot as a kid.
Okay, I'm going to post up here for a minute.
And there's one of the pieces that I would love to own one day. Skullman, $850 graded.
So as I'm going through the show, I'm starting to think that maybe I'm being a little bit too particular about what I'm collecting, which isn't a bad thing, right? I'm not buying for the sake of buying, but I'm seeing a lot of things that I see at most of the shows I go to, right? I see G.I. Joe, I see Star Wars, I see Transformers. Then I turn the corner and I finally see the stuff that I was hoping to see.
So found.
I don't know why you would say it's $250, $222. I wouldn't. You're asking $80 more than eBay at $300. I mean, this guy's gonna make after fees. He's gonna make less than $200 now.
Yeah.
I would just say, show these to Mike. They might, $200.
See, it's the weird stuff like this that's like really grabbed my attention within collecting. Like that little carrying case for G.I. Joe. I had one of these as a kid. Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. There's another Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. I got excited because I saw this, and that's one of the Ghostbuster monsters, but I have Quasimodo already. I have all of these. These are the 90s Burger King Universal Monsters. There's Black Star. I have him at home, but I'm missing his sword. Skeleton Warriors.
Is that a Mighty Max?
I don't have either one of these. I'm pretty sure they're missing their pieces. That's why they're 10. This one.
I'm still making my rounds, taking a look, calculating in my head how much money I brought with me versus how much I want to spend, and what is a nice to have versus like, I really want this for a collection. I hit up another booth and this gentleman had a lot of great stuff and his price was extremely fair. So after spending some time with him and taking a look at some other tables, I figured like, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna go and make some decisions and it's time to take off. The first purchase of the day is a couple of knockoff vintage Mad Balls. This light green one I believe is called Laceface, and the darker one, I haven't found his name yet, but I just thought he was unique looking. Keeping with the gross out toys theme, my next purchase is from the Garbage Pail Kids line. I snagged this vintage card collector case and the Blasted Billy pop-up toy. The vendor had a lot more on his table, but I decided on these two for now. Next up are these two Universal Monster Mad Ball / Monster Ball toys. The vendor couldn't tell me much about them, and I'm pretty certain they're newer, but they were just too cool to leave behind. If you know something about these, please let me know in the comments. I picked up this loose incomplete Mighty Max Skull Warrior playset. My aim is to collect key pieces from the early Mighty Max line before they became these large sets that you couldn't fit in your pocket. Vintage G.I. Joe is a toy line that I love, so when I saw this 1983 Pocket Patrol pack, I had to grab it. Last item that I picked up is a pencil sharpener, but it's not just any pencil sharpener, it's a Dracula pencil sharpener. You stab Dracula to sharpen your pencil. Need I say more? The Deland Toy and Comic Show is definitely one I will be revisiting every year going forward. If there's stuff that I showed in today's video that maybe I missed and I should pay attention to, please put those in the comments. I absolutely will reply to every one of them. Until next time, remember, be good.